Good morning, vinyl community and others. It's Brian here with you, and this is Recent Finds number 7, if I have counted that correctly. I know I've probably skipped a few things. I'm still trying to catch up, but I'm going to keep these to a handful of items so no one gets too bored with the presentation. And today I'm going to start with a record from a cool guy who is not only a musician but also a member of the vinyl community. I'm not sure if I can use the word member because we don't actually have a membership process as far as I know, but and many people may already know this person. It's Michael P Dawson, who is a musician but also has a YouTube channel in which he presents some things he's purchased recently and some really interesting discussions about things. So he's released a few recordings. This is the latest from 2022 called Turtled Out of Heaven, an electronic music composition by Michael P. Dawson. I'll put links to his VC channel and his Bandcamp page. Now you can buy this as an electronic file, as a CD, and also as a vinyl record, but you should know that there is only 100 of the records available for purchase. Yeah, so there's a little blurb on the back here about the figure of a cosmic turtle being present in various mythologies, and right from the Hindu up to Terry Pratchett's Great Atuin. And the title apparently comes from James Joyce, which envisions the turtle spirit as a cosmic Finnegan who journeys from interstellar space to the sea, swamps, and woodlands of the earth. There's 3 parts. Region 1, something called Interlude, and Region 2. Now, one thing to note about this record is it's all Moog. So you can see a listing of the equipment, but all Moog, which is kind of really interesting to me. And this is really interesting music. I'm going to show you the record because it's on what Michael called tortoiseshell vinyl or swamp water vinyl. I think he also said mud turtle vinyl. So there's the labels on both sides. So Region 1 is evidently look at the cosmos. There's a brief interlude. And then there's Region 2, which is the Earth. So this is something I really like this because it has really kind of cool electronic sounds. If you're into sort of Moog sounds, it's really interesting. Inspired by, I think it says, composers at the Columbia Princeton Electronic Music Center. So really interesting. I enjoy this quite a lot, so I'm happy that I bought it. And when Michael sent that, he also included a bonus record that I didn't know was coming. This is Charles Dodge, Earth's Magnetic Fields, which is realizations in computed electronic sound produced by the Columbia University Computer Center. So I don't know too much about this. There's a long essay on the album cover, which I have read, and I've also looked at the Wikipedia entry for Charles Dodge. But it's essentially mapping magnetic field data to musical sounds with the help of this computer center. And again, this is actually really interesting. It's kind of up my alley because I do like strange electronic music, and this would probably qualify. So, I mean, there's a lot to take in here. And I read this, and the part of it's kind of technical, but anyway, I really enjoy this, and thank you, Michael, for adding the bonus record to this package. There's the label. Non-such records. And what is the date on this? I probably didn't write the date down stupidly. I think it was 74, I think. That's my memory. But anyway, really interesting music, and I'm happy to have that in my collection. I enjoy it very much. So thanks, Michael, for that. And I encourage you to check out Turtled Out of Heaven and his other items that you can view on his and listen to on this Bandcamp page. So it's pretty cool. The next thing I got is something from a band called Calexico, which is I guess, Latin-inspired folk rock kind of thing. Now, this is an EP, the 5th EP from 2004. This band's originally from Tucson. And this is essentially mostly remixes of things. So I enjoy this. I like the band Calexico. I think they're kind of interesting. Some people I read on Discogs didn't understand the purpose of this release because it seems a little bit, to them, a little bit, just because there's a few remixes, what's the point of it? But for me, the best track is the third one, Guero Canelo, which is a remix by Panoptica, which I think is really, really good. If you like that kind of thing. Label on this side. So just standard black vinyl, and there's only 6 tracks, so it's not a very long thing. But I picked this up for a really excellent price on a used bin somewhere. So I'm kind of, if I see Calexico, I will buy Calexico because I like them. All right, moving right along to item number 3, which is someone I've mentioned before. I showed a record by Jens Lekman before called Night Falls Over Cortadela. This is Jens Lekman, I Know What Love Isn't, his third record from 2012. There's a flip side of that. So a Swedish singer, folkish, I suppose, indie maybe. And this is a die cut cover, which allows you to select the cover you want to see. You can have that, or even that. And then the vinyl itself, oh, by the way, the flip side of these inserts are, credits and lyrics and whatnot. And then the record itself, dedicated to Maggie, is on this interesting greenish yellow blue kind of splatter vinyl, which looks amazing, but unfortunately this record sounds terrible. It's possibly the worst rounding record in my collection right now. Sorry. At first when I was listening to this, the first track sounded okay, and I thought, wow, my stylus is damaged, or I thought maybe there was a clump of dust under my stylus. But I looked at Discogs, and there were at least 3 comments that made the same observation about this record, about how absolutely dreadful it sounds. It's distorted. It sounds like if you put some lint under your stylus and played the record. It's just terrible. And I guess it was a manufacturing defect with this version. I sent a message to Secretly Canadian, the record label, to mention this to them, because I don't have the receipt. I bought it new, but it was discounted, heavily discounted. And I don't know whether maybe that suggested that they knew something was wrong with it or just coincidence, but I'm not happy with the sound of this record, which is unfortunate because the record's actually really good. So let's move on. The next one is from a band called the Comsat Angels, and sometimes known as the CS Angels in Canada. And the story about that is either to do with the trademark, but then I hear that maybe that isn't the case. 7 Day Weekend. This is their 5th record from 1985. The band is from Sheffield. They're like a post-punk new wave outfit. Now, I should mention that PC31 Vinyl Policeman has mentioned in comments this band a few times, and my memory is that he said he may do a video about them, which if he does, I'm looking forward to it, because I think he was going to rank them or just do a video about this band. Now, the funny thing is, I bought this record and thinking that I didn't know any songs, but I put it on as like the 3rd track, You Move Me, I realized I've heard dozens and dozens of times because it had a lot of airplay on a radio station I used to listen to at the time. So I knew that song quite well. And show you what the labels. There's a bit of dust on this. I have to give it another clean, but they're Comsat Angels. So yeah, really interesting post-punk or new wave band, whatever you call it these days, which is really good. And I was surprised that I either forgot that song was the Comsat Angels or never knew it was the Comsat Angels, one or the other. So I'm not sure. The next thing I picked up was a vinyl copy of The National's Sad Songs for Dirty Lovers. Now, I have everything The National released on CD or vinyl. This is the one I never had. This is originally from 2003, but this is a repress from 2010. This is a band that was formed in Brooklyn, but everyone was from Cincinnati originally. And one of the weird things about this band is it has two sets of twins. So there's a set of twins, and then there's two sets of brothers. One set of twins and one set of brothers, which is a very strange thing. Unfortunately, I would put this as maybe one of my least favorite National records. But on the other hand, it has "Murder Me, Rachel" on here, which is just a fantastic song. That's the best song on the record, in my opinion. And inside we have a plastic, like credit card plastic download code, which I think is a bit of a overproduced, over-engineered download card for sure. And there is a insert for the National. And then the record itself is just on your standard black vinyl with this bird on the other side. So, I do like everything the National has released, except their last record, which I wasn't really thrilled by, but pretty much everything. For me, the high watermark was High Violet, which I think is a really fantastic record. All right, next thing is from a band called The O.C.s. It's an interesting band because they've changed their name many times. They were, first of all, I think from San Francisco, but moved to LA. Psych Garage. This is from 2012. And they were known as many different bands. Orinoco Crash Suite, OCS, Orange County Sound. Sometimes known as the O.C.s, the O.C.s, sometimes just O.C.s, sometimes run together. It's a little confusing. But I do like this jacket. So this is a die-cut sleeve. So there's a man face that fits in to the dog face here. And on the back, you have a dog in a coffin who is drinking a beer. So kind of an interesting jacket. The other thing is, this band is kind of incredible because they put out so much material, and it's all really excellent, which I don't know how they do it. There's the dog kind of thing. Is that beer? I guess it is a bottle of beer. And this guy, and then the labels. So we have this thing again, and then this is, if I didn't say it, this is Putrefier's 2 EP. So the spindle through the eyeball socket is an interesting touch, but I have some records from a Canadian artist called Nash the Slash, and the label he's on is called Cutthroat Records, and they have used this effect of the spindle through an eye before, so maybe that's not entirely new, but it is interesting. So I would buy anything by the O.C.s if I saw it at a reasonable price, because I think they're really interesting. And the last thing I got is something that I've only had for a day or so, and that is the latest Neil Young and Crazy Horse called Barn. And normally I like to buy things at a local record shop, and in Toronto we're blessed with having a lot of record stores, but this came up on Amazon for half of their price. So instead of 34 something, it was $17 and some change Canadian, which is a little different. But so in my local record store, the one closest to me, this is a $35 record, but it was 17 something. And I've only listened to this once, but again, I'm sort of a Neil Young fan, so I would pretty much buy anything. Now, packaging from Amazon is so inconsistent because this came in one of those large boxes on its own. Sometimes they put it in a record mailer. Sometimes they put it in a record mailer in a plastic bag. Sometimes they put it in a record mailer in a box. Sometimes they put it, this time only in the box. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I've got a couple that were sent just in a plastic bag, and they were totally destroyed. And I got one occasion, a record came to me with just the mailing label stuck on the cellophane. Now, someone did say, I've heard many times, make sure you say it's a gift. Well, I put something as a gift, that it's a gift, and it came in a plastic bag with no box, and I had to send it back, and they did that 3 times with the same record. So I don't know what Amazon's doing. I wish they had standardized packaging, but they clearly don't, so that's really frustrating. So anyway, that's the end of my recent finds, and thank you once again for watching.